Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the February 7th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Adam Rue on Franklin Street. Is the town prepared for a party after tonight's Duke-Carolina game? I'll let you know coming up.
We'll introduce you to 2 more candidates for student body president with the election less than a week away.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but forget about the Duke game tonight. Butch Davis's first recruiting class has stolen the spotlight of Tar Heel athletics.
Weathercaster Laura Pagano is here with your Carolina Week 4-day forecast. All that and a look at Carborough's Poet Laureate. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Kate Schoen. And I'm Alex De La Real. It's a rare day that football tops basketball around here, especially on the day of the Carolina-Duke matchup. But today, that happens to be the situation. Sportscaster Brandon Curry joins us with news on the rumblings coming out of Kenan Stadium. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, it could have been rumblings. It could have been the sounds of a possible bowl victory coming up. A new head coach, Butch Davis, has made a huge statement to the college football world. North Carolina football is back. Davis has landed one of the top classes in the country, led by 5-star recruits Marvin Austin, Rivals.com, top defensive tackle in the country, and Dwight Jones, a wide receiver from Burlington. Davis was also able to steal Durham's Hillside's Greg Little, who verbally committed to Notre Dame before ultimately choosing the Heels.
Excitement in the air today isn't just about the success of Butch Davis. We are just a few hours away from another heated installment in the Duke-UNC basketball rivalry, and the town of Chapel Hill is busy preparing for any post-game celebration that might take place. Reporter Adam Rue joins us from Franklin Street with more. Adam?
Any win against Duke is a big one, but town officials say they're not trying to tone down the party, just keep people safe.
Yeah, we don't mind people celebrating. What we don't like is people getting hurt.
Chapel Hill Police Major Brian Kerr is in charge of coordinating the 35 additional officers who are on standby for tonight's game. He says fans are usually pretty well behaved, but accidents do happen.
And we have, over the past few celebrations, have had some kids get pretty seriously burned.
If UNC wins, Kerr says he expects between 1,500 and 3,000 students to make their way into the downtown area. But Franklin Street won't close unless the fans start to overflow into the roadway.
We don't plan to close the street because once you close the street, then people will fill it.
Kerr says those of you who are planning to drive to downtown might want to think again.
We would encourage folks not to park on the 100 block just in case.
If you want to get to the party but don't want to drive, you can take the bus. Chapel Hill Transit's Steve Spade says buses will run on a normal schedule tonight.
If there are delays because there's a lot more activity on Franklin, then we'll have supervisors on the street that'll help our operators get back on time.
But he says everything should run pretty smoothly.
We don't anticipate any major problems tonight. Some delays, happy people, we hope.
Now, in the event Carolina doesn't win, Duke officials also have plans for a celebration on that campus, including a bonfire in the main quad. But the folks in the bars here on Franklin Street are sure that won't happen. On Franklin Street, I'm Adam Rue, Carolina Week.
Thanks, Adam. We can only hope they're right and the celebrating is on this end of Tobacco Road. While fans walk to the bars on Franklin for tonight's big game, they might notice one more vacancy on the historic street. The Carr drug location on the 100 block of Franklin Street closed for good on Friday. Signs on the doors urge customers to visit the store's other Chapel Hill location at the University Mall. UNC senior Ann Spangler says the store's closing puts a burden on students who can't drive.
I think it's really sad that Carr Drugs closed because it was a convenient location for students who don't have cars.
The closing came after the building's owner and the drugstore company couldn't agree on a contract to renew the lease. Your only other drugstore option downtown is Sutton's, located a few doors down from the old Carr Drug. A recent rise in the number of break-ins has local cops taking a proactive role in helping us stay safe. There were more than 50 break-ins in Chapel Hill and Carborough during Christmas break. That number has this officer checking a home while the owner is on vacation. Local police departments offer free house checks to prevent break-ins while the owners are away. Captain J.G. Booker says the service works, but only for those people who decide to use it.
I don't know that we've ever had a place that we were checking that we found to have been broken into. So, you know, is that a way to measure success? I don't know, but that's a positive at least.
To schedule a house check while you're away, just stop by the Chapel Hill or Carborough Police Department and fill out a security check form. Last week, a routine audit of employees at UNC hospitals turned up an unusual find: 17 undocumented workers. Auditors discovered those workers because they all had false Social Security numbers. 9 of them resigned, while 8 got fired. Hospital spokesman Lynn Wooten says they'll focus on more careful hiring practices and quarterly checks, but won't take any more action against the illegal workers.
It's not the hospital's responsibility to say, for example, turn these folks into INS. We would, I'm sure, assist fully within our means if somebody did decide to follow up and wanted to investigate.
This finding might prompt supervisors in other UNC sectors to start checking their employees as well. UNC students and Chapel Hill residents don't mind braving the bitter cold as long as it's for a good cause. The School of Public Health sponsored an American Red Cross blood drive in Hooker Atrium on Tuesday. Technicians drew blood from more than 40 people in 3 hours. The Red Cross Blood Mobile served as headquarters. Inside, donors had their arms pricked and tried to relax as they gave a pint of blood each. School co-president Justin White helped set up the blood drive. He says the event was very rewarding.
We feel like it's really nice as students in public health school to actually be involved in something that is so crucial to the healthcare system here.
The blood from Tuesday's drive will go to a blood bank for testing, then to hospitals throughout the nation. Last semester, Carolina Dining Services announced the creation of a new commuter meal plan, but so far the plan is not whetting many appetites. The plan lets off-campus students buy a 35-meal minimum instead of the old minimum of 105 meals.
Thank you.
Director of One Card Operations Jim Clinton says Dining Services created the new plan when commuter students requested smaller options. About 19,500 students live off campus and are eligible for the smaller plan, but to date, only about 80 of them have purchased one. Well, Kate, only a few more days until we get to vote in our new student leaders. Which means campaigning in the pit is in high gear. Coming up.
I'm Katie Klein. I'll introduce you to 2 SPP candidates with very different campaign strategies.